Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
Moment on General Hospital. Jens goes on a double date of feathers. Molly and Christina play the blame game. Lucas forces a concession out of Marco, and Jason ends the day with a kiss. Valentine's Day in Port Charles is an interesting blend of third bus, shocking exposures, and dismissal throwing. Yup, that about totalities it up. It's a good news bad news script for Liz, who actually has a date for the big day, but Rick decides the forenamed dismissal throwing venue is the stylish place to take his dressed to kill lady. Michael and Jacinda are throwing axes as well, but she's far more into it than is Liz at first. But Liz throws herself into effects, admitting she could use further fun in her life. Rick says that can be arranged before planting a kiss on her. Felicia updates Maxie at the sanitarium. Maxie is rocked by the news that Nathan is alive and well and living in Port Charles, and so is Britt. Nathan is inversely shocked to hear that Maxie has awakened. Debates rage about whether Nathan and Maxie should reunite, with Albrecht wanting to push them together ASAP. Jason and Carly are at the Brown Dog agitating Michael's guardianship agreement when Spinelli interrupts with news that Maxie's recovered. Carly exits, leaving Spinelli to tell Stone Cold that while thrilled his lady love has awakened, he can't help but sweat he'll lose her to Nathan. Jason and Carly are at the Brown Dog agitating Michael's guardianship agreement when Spinelli interrupts with news that Maxie's recovered. Carly exits, leaving Spinelli to tell Stone Cold that while thrilled his lady love has awakened, he can't help but sweat he'll lose her to Nathan. Jason urges Spinelli to sit back and let Maxie make a choice, which might just surprise him. Jason exits after entering a series of emojis from Britt, which lets him to meet her at the boathouse. Once he leaves, Albrecht enters to thank Spinelli for having taken similar good care of Maxie and James, adding that his services are no longer needed. As for Jason and Britt, they wind up participating a kiss after she acknowledges a new mindfulness that time is transitory. Lucas lashes out at Marco and Lucas' fight picks up where it left off. Carly's family is in shock as Marco admits that his pater was hanging Britt and he was apprehensive of it. Lucas can't believe he spent months defending his beau, indeed cutting Carly out of his life for not accepting him. Realizing that being close to Sidwell was the real reason they moved to Windmere, Lucas accuses Marco of having manipulated him from the veritably start, but Lucas softens at least a bit when Marco plays the dead mama card. He claims the reason he agreed to work for his father was to make Sonny pay for Natalia's death. You don't want justice, Lucas sighs. You want vengeance. Marco begs his swain to give him time to wrap this design, promising he can keep Britt safe in the process. Lucas seems to agree as they clinch, but has he really given in? In other news, Alexis is thrilled to learn that Molly has written a new book, but confused when the author reveals she has no plans to publish it. Christina admits she submitted the book to her family's publisher, and Molly reveals she doesn't want the book to embarrass Cody. The sisters go to throw axes, supposedly the only thing to do other than drink in this city. They arrive to see Molly's pater kiss Liz, and Christina gets a maybe jealous look as she watches Jacinda and Michael. Brooke, Lynn and Chase reflect on Valentine's Day's history. He worries the Brown Dog isn't romantic enough, but she reminds him it's about them, not the place. Ava dines with Sidwell and Lucy. When questioned about the company she's keeping by Alexis, Ava says the Rick failure made her suppose about the kind of man she wants in her life. Lucy be damned. General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, February 17th, reveal that Willow Kane will turn in her abdication while Nathan West considers a new angle. Dante Falconeri will also push Michael Corinthos down, so let's talk about what's coming up in Port Charles. At GH, Willow will track Elizabeth Baldwin down so she can give her abdication. Since Drew Kane needs round-the-timepiece care and Willow is getting partial guardianship of the kiddies, she may contend there's no time for her old nursing job. Of course, Willow is intimately remedying Drew to keep him in his current state, but she obviously wouldn't tell Elizabeth that part. At the PCPD, Harrison Chase will drop a hint about an avenue that Nathan isn't pursuing, so this will presumably involve the continued Drew shooting disquisition. It sounds like Chase will try to steer Nathan down a path that could make Michael look shamed. Will Chase's indication ever lead to Nathan discovering Drew's key on Michael's curing? Anyhow, Dante will have a tense hassle with Michael on Tuesday's show. That's when Dante will confess that he thinks it's stylish for them to keep their distance, at least until the Drew case is closed. Next, Lucas Jones will seek Carly Spencer out at the Metro Court, where he'll admit she was right and contend he owes her a huge reason. It looks like Lucas will offer updates on all his unsettling discoveries involving Marco Rios, who's pledged to walk down from Jen Sidwell's drama once their current design wraps up. Lucas took Marco's hand and hugged him, but he clearly didn't feel convinced this is the right thing to do. Maybe Lucas really just wants to string Marco along since Britt Westbourne and Sonny Corinthos' lives are at stake. At the Metro Court, Rick Lansing will wonder what's going on between Sonny and ADA Justine Turner, so he'll quiz Sonny after witnessing in commerce between them. Tuesday's occasion will also bring Laura Spencer's surprising news for Alexis Davis along with Tracy Quartermain's battle with Sidwell, so don't miss all the curveballs to come. General Hospital spoilers and updates reveal Costa D'Angelo, honored for his part in Tell Me Lies, expressed to his sympathizers that he feels the affection from suckers while leaving unborn casting possibilities uncertain. He addresses the ongoing enterprise circulating online about whether he'll take on the part of the new Spencer Cassadine, preliminarily played by Nicholas Alexander Chavez. Nicholas Alexander Chavez converted the character of Spencer. As a SORAST character, he developed him into one of the show's most complex youthful leads, earning a Daytime Emmy in the process. His depiction of Spencer was violent, romantic, vulnerable, and incredibly engaging. After Chavez left for a Netflix design, Spencer fell into the Seine, leading to the character being presumed dead with Chavez's contract concluded. Suckers were left agonized. Accordingly, when Costa D'Angelo's name started to circulate online as a possible relief, the buzz grew loud enough to reach him. D'Angelo spoke with the TV Cave while rephotographing Tell Me Lies, and he was candid about the enterprise. D'Angelo has seen the Suckers enterprise. I've seen it, he remarked, fading the online enthusiasm from GH suckers who wished for him to take on the part of Spencer. He didn't jump into outright evidence, but he also didn't dismiss it. Tell the General Hospital suckers I love them and I see them. So, hopefully one day I can make their dreams come true. His response was gracious yet indistinctive. He grasped the passion behind the conversations. Des cult duent casually toss around casting suggestions. They rally and unite, and the fact that his name was indeed part of that dialogue didn't feel to escape him. D'Angelo isn't ruling playing Spencer Cassadine out presently. D'Angelo is concentrating on Tell Me Lies, where his character Alex bears trauma like an alternate skin and adheres to a strict internal law. Battle. Woeful. Nonage, this is how he characterized the final phase of the season, 3 words that suggested at emotional reckoning rather than neat resolution. Alex was flamboyant. He was restrained, veritably straightforward, and frequently candid. D'Angelo bandied portraying someone who expressed his views as he perceived them, indeed if it made others uneasy. This approach differs from Spencer's, yet it's not entirely inharmonious also. Spencer's heritage is significant. Chavez left behind a depiction of the character that reverberated deeply. Whoever steps into Spencer's part next will have big shoes to fill. While D'Angelo didn't officially claim the part, he also didn't dismiss it, leaving the possibility slightly ajar. Valentine's Day in Port Charles rarely unfolds without chaos, and this year proves no exception. On the latest episode of General Hospital, romance collides with suspicion, confessions erupt under pressure, and by nightfall, passion seals the day with an unexpected kiss. What begins as a holiday devoted to love quickly transforms into a symbolic baptism for multiple relationships, a cleansing by fire, truth, and raw emotion. Encouraging words attempt to mend fragile bonds, while angry threats simmer beneath the surface, promising that not everyone will walk away unscathed. The evening opens with an unusual double date of sorts orchestrated by Jen Sidwell, whose presence alone guarantees intrigue. Ava Jerome finds herself dining in complicated company, seated with Sidwell and Lucy Coe. The atmosphere is polite on the surface but tense underneath. Ava, still reeling from past romantic disasters, appears determined to redefine what she wants in a partner. Alexis Davis questions her judgment, especially given Sidwell's shadowy aura, but Ava insists that her heart, and her future, are hers to command. It's a quiet baptism for Ava, a declaration that she will no longer be guided by fear or public opinion. Still, Sidwell's calculating gaze suggests his motives might extend far beyond candlelit dinners. Elsewhere, Liz Baldwin experiences a good news/bad news scenario. She actually has a Valentine's date, a rarity in her complicated love life, but Rick Lansing chooses an axe-throwing venue as their romantic destination. Dressed elegantly and expecting something softer, Liz is initially skeptical. Yet as axes thud against wooden targets and adrenaline begins to flow, something shifts inside her. She laughs, loosens up, and confesses she could use more spontaneity in her life. Rick promises he can provide exactly that, sealing the moment with a kiss. It's playful, unexpected, and symbolic. Liz has endured grief and betrayal. Tonight feels like a washing away of heaviness, at least temporarily. Not far away, Michael Corinthos and Jacinda participate in the same unconventional activity. Jacinda thrives in the competitive atmosphere, while Michael appears distracted. The custody battle hovering over him with Willow Kane casts a long shadow. Even in the midst of flying axes and flirtatious banter, Michael's mind drifts. Love and litigation make uneasy companions. This Valentine's Day feels less like celebration and more like a test of resilience. At the hospital, a revelation strikes like lightning. Maxie Jones is awake. Felicia Scorpio delivers the astonishing news, and shock ripples outward. Nathan West, long thought absent from her world, learns not only that Maxie has regained consciousness but that she is alive and once again part of the fabric of Port Charles. The emotional impact resembles a spiritual rebirth. Maxie's awakening serves as a baptism for her loved ones, grief dissolving into astonished gratitude. Nathan, equally stunned, wrestles with what this means. Reunions once considered impossible now hover within reach. Debate ignites immediately. Should Nathan and Maxie find their way back to each other? Liesl Albrecht wastes no time championing reconciliation, convinced destiny has handed them a second chance. Her encouragement is forceful, almost insistent. Spinelli, however, stands caught in emotional crossfire. He is overjoyed that Maxie survived, yet quietly fears that her revival could mean losing her heart to Nathan once more. His internal struggle mirrors the broader theme of the episode: love rarely returns without complications. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan and Carly Spencer convene at the Brown Dog to discuss Michael's custody crisis. Their conversation is interrupted when Spinelli bursts in with news of Maxie's recovery. Carly rushes off, leaving Spinelli alone with Jason. He confesses his anxiety, admitting that joy and dread are tangled together. Jason, ever pragmatic, advises him to let Maxie choose her own path. Encouraging words, calm and steady, remind Spinelli that love cannot be forced or manipulated. Jason's day, however, takes a turn when a flurry of emojis from Britt Westbourne beckons him to the boathouse. Britt, reflective and newly aware of life's fragility, acknowledges that time is fleeting. Their connection, simmering for months, finally ignites in a kiss that feels both spontaneous and inevitable. For Jason, who has weathered loss after loss, this moment feels like a cleansing breath, a reminder that hope still exists amid chaos. Across town, Lucas Jones confronts Marco Rios in a heated showdown. The fight resumes with raw intensity. Marco admits that his father threatened Britt and that he knew about it. Lucas reels from the betrayal, realizing he defended Marco blindly, even alienating Carly in the process. Anger surges through him. He accuses Marco of manipulation, of orchestrating their move to Windmere to remain close to Sidwell's web of influence. The revelation hits like a blow. Yet the confrontation evolves into something more layered. Marco invokes his late mother, Natalia, claiming his alliance with his father stemmed from a desire to make Sonny Corinthos pay for her death. Lucas recognizes the difference between justice and vengeance. You don't want justice, he essentially concludes. You want revenge. The distinction hangs heavily between them. Marco begs for time to finish his current mission, promising he can keep Britt safe. They embrace, but uncertainty lingers. Lucas' softened stance may be strategic rather than sincere. Meanwhile, Molly Lansing Davis and Christina Corinthos Davis spiral into a blame game. Alexis beams with pride upon learning Molly wrote a new book, only to be puzzled when Molly refuses to publish it. Christina admits she secretly submitted the manuscript to the publisher, believing in her sister's talent. Molly insists she won't risk embarrassing Cody Bell. The sisters' argument escalates, fueled by old resentments and unresolved rivalry. Their visit to the axe-throwing venue becomes symbolic therapy, sharp objects hurled at wooden targets as metaphors for pent-up frustration. Christina's glance at Michael and Jacinda hints at jealousy or perhaps regret. Love triangles and sibling tensions intermingle, each character grappling with identity and loyalty. In another corner of town, Brooklyn Quartermaine and Harrison Chase reminisce about Valentine's days past. Chase worries their setting lacks romance, but Brooklyn reassures him that love isn't defined by location. Their exchange offers a rare pocket of calm, encouraging words that reaffirm partnership amid widespread turmoil. Spoilers tease even more upheaval. Willow prepares to resign from her nursing job, citing Drew Kane's need for constant care and her partial custody responsibilities. Beneath her explanation lies a darker secret: she is secretly drugging Drew to maintain his vulnerable state. Her resignation becomes another baptism, an outward cleansing of responsibility that masks internal corruption. Elizabeth Baldwin, unaware of Willow's deception, listens with empathy. At the PCPD, Chase hints that Nathan may be overlooking a crucial investigative angle in the Drew shooting case. The suggestion could redirect suspicion toward Michael. Dante Falconeri later urges Michael to keep his distance until the investigation concludes. The tension is palpable. Friendships strain under the weight of legal scrutiny. Angry threats are not always spoken aloud, sometimes they manifest as strategic caution. Lucas seeks Carly at the Metro Court, confessing she was right about Marco. He apologizes sincerely, acknowledging his misjudgment. The admission feels like a baptism of humility. Carly, protective and perceptive, absorbs the update with guarded concern. Marco's promise to step away from Sidwell's influence may be hollow. With Britt and Sunny's lives potentially at risk, Lucas might be playing a longer game than he lets on. Rick, ever observant, questions Sunny about his interaction with ADA Justine Turner. Laura Spencer delivers surprising news to Alexis. Tracy Quartermaine confronts Sidwell, her sharp tongue slicing through pretense. Everywhere, secrets simmer and alliances shift. Beyond the immediate drama, casting speculation adds another layer of intrigue. Costa D'Angelo, recognized for his work on Tell Me Lies, addresses fan buzz about potentially stepping into the role of Spencer Cassadine, a character famously redefined by Nicholas Alexander Chavez. Chavez's Emmy-winning portrayal left a formidable legacy. After Spencer's presumed death in the Seine and Chavez's departure for Netflix projects, viewers have long debated who might fill those shoes. D'Angelo acknowledges the enthusiasm without confirming anything, leaving the door tantalizingly open. His response mirrors the episode's central theme, possibility without certainty. Just as Maxie's awakening reopens romantic doors, casting rumors reopen narrative potential. Spencer Cassadine's legacy looms large, and any recast would mark yet another rebirth for Port Charles. As Valentine's Day concludes, the symbolic baptism is complete. Love has been tested and renewed. Encouraging words have offered solace. Angry threats have drawn battle lines. Jason's kiss with Britt closes the evening on a note of fragile hope, while unresolved tensions promise storms ahead. In Port Charles, romance is never simple. It is forged through confession, confrontation, and courage. Whether through axe-throwing dates, hospital awakenings, or whispered apologies, each character emerges from the day altered, some cleansed, others emboldened, all irrevocably changed. And as the next episode looms, one truth remains: in this town, every kiss carries consequence, every secret demands reckoning, and every baptism is merely the beginning of another dramatic chapter.